Blog Talk Radio.
Race fans, welcome to the most listened to show on the 110 Nation Radio Network. When it's hot, it's hot. Presenting you the caution flag of racing radio, the DJ Music Man, and the Tasmanian Devil of Flaggers. Here's your host, Chris, Craig, and Taz.
Howdy, race fans. How the hell are you? It's another episode of Race Chat Live. We're coming to you from the studio. It's Tuesday night. We're pumped up. It's Dago weekend. We cannot wait to get the show started here tonight. We've got both of our fellas in the...
Unforgettable. When what you need is more than...
I saw you
do
started
like
out
that,
with
Blake.
a commercial. Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, so... yeah. I mean, here we go. That'd be another minute and 52 seconds. I thought we was playing music there, but we was actually playing. Mr. Craig Moore's More to Music commercial. Man, oh man, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Welcome to the show, fellas. Glad to have y'all in the studio. Obviously, it's been polar opposites from the northern weather versus what's down here in the south. We are mean and green down here in the south, baby.
Buddy, how much
People's
snow
running
you got?
around. They got their basketball shorts on, women's in shorts, and all that other good stuff. Toes is hanging out and smelling up all over the place. But up north, y'all dealing with some snow.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, I don't have to deal with that no more.
Yeah, rub it in, you southern people.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Woo, it's summertime already. Man, I tell you what, they say it's going to be 88 degrees this weekend at the Talladega Super Speedway, the big-ass track over there in
15%
eastern Alabama.
This is how bummed
what?
New York. This is how bummed us New Yorkers are right now. Ready? Fonda Speedway was supposed to have their opening night this past Saturday. Got canceled because of rain. Then there was supposed to be practice night tomorrow. I don't know how the hell they're going to pull this off with all this freaking white crap that came out of God's creation. Nonsense is going to happen. And we're supposed to be racing at Fonda this Saturday to try to get the season started already.
Yeah, Easter Sunday.
And we're suffering American racer tire shortages now.
Yeah, that seems to be a big deal.
That sounds like first world problem.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, we did
American
lack.
Racer and Hoosier both have, announced a supply issue problem to just.
I'll tell you what we didn't lack. We didn't lack for wanting good racing this past weekend.
Man, I tell you what, like Boomhauer said, oh, Dio, wow. Mr. Hank Hill, propane. It was go fast, and, man, I tell you what, it was just entertainment all the way around, fellas.
If you didn't like this past weekend's racing, shame on you. And I will say, and Kyle said it best, he backed into that sucker.
Yeah, Kyle Busch said a lot of things, Mr. Craig Moore, and we can't wait to talk about them here tonight. Broken-hearted, Tyler Reddick. I figured, Craig, that was a bold move to change your pick. And you had to have been at the edge of your seat. You was just like, I am the Nostradamus of Race Chat Live. And then you realized that you said I'm the NASCAR dumbass because
no, because we've all talked about it. We've all been sleeping on him all year.
Right.
I wouldn't say we've all been sleeping on him.
I don't know. the more I watched in practice and all that, I was like, you know what? And then part of me was kicking myself when he was in the back because he got shuffled in the back a few times, and Chase was up front. I'm like, did I make the mistake of a lifetime? And I'm like, nope. And then when it came to the last lap, I can't tell you what I yelled because it's not fit for consumption. But it was not PG, let's put it that way.
Right, most definitely.
But, you know, I think Tyler Reddick needs to stop apologizing.
He's too nice.
He is. He's way too nice. And he needs to...
I think Briscoe played the smart move, but I think Reddick was too nice and pointed the blame on himself. You can't blame him. You can't blame yourself for letting Briscoe run in on you. I mean, Briscoe had the better car late, but that wasn't entirely Reddick's fault. I don't even think any part of it was Reddick's fault.
I mean, come on.
Where he blamed
Briscoe
himself was confusing.
Smile. He come up with that I'm a dumbass smile, and Tyler Reddick wanted to be mad. He did. But listen, these guys are battling for something that they're just now getting a taste of. There is a hell of a lot of difference between what Harvick races for and what Tyler Reddick races for. They want to
trying to figure out what Harvick races for.
They want to taste what that cake tastes like, Craig. They want to taste it. And the moment that they do really get to taste what it tastes like, you'll see. You won't see smiles in the between those two. Look, I'm surprised Richard Childress didn't take his Rolex off. I want somebody to confirm or not confirm or deny that Richard Childress, the first thing he did after that happened was took his Rolex off, because I guarantee you he was fixing to go down there and whop somebody upside the head.
Yeah.
I think I've exceeded my limit of contemporary cuss words in the amount of 5 minutes of the show. So we need to put if we're going to continue to maintain to be PG-13, we might need to cool my mouth just a little bit.
All right, well, you know what? While you're cooling your mouth, we'll let Taz talk for a little bit so we ain't talking over one another. Taz, what did you think about Saturday night's race?
I didn't get a chance to watch the feature race, but I saw some of the heat races, and that was interesting. A lot of changes, definitely, for sure, in comparison from last year to this year for Bristol. And the one change that really hit was being that they ran the heat races during the day, was that it was actual multiple groove racing. It wasn't a single file freight train type deal that we saw last year, which I think is a huge step.
Yeah, they made some changes, and you shared in the group that they're going to race again. They're going to go back there next year. I really hope they figure out what to do with the windshield. Excuse me. They waited until the very last minute to try things for the windshield. Now, I said it in the on the Facebook page. I'll say it here. They need to task a chassis builder for these cars. Get them out of their next gen cars. Put them in a late model of some sort. Dirt late model. I said T.O. Bicknell, somebody. Taz, you said somebody else.
I said Longhorn. If we're going to use stock car type deal, if we're going to use these stock cars, I mean, Bicknell and Teo Pro Car aren't bad choices, especially Bicknell per se. I just don't know if they have the full-on resources to go from, say, like a dirt modified to a stock car-ish type chassis, which is why
I don't want it to be a stock car type chassis.
Well, hold on. And this is why I said go with Longhorn, because Longhorn is more of a late model, which has more relation to a stock car.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
And with Longhorn chassis, and Chris could probably say the same thing, Longhorns might be better than like a dirt modified chassis type deal, I would say, because like I said, late models are more full fendered. These next gen cars are more full fendered. So
why would we do this? Did the next gen car not do its job? I mean, I guarantee you right now there's some dirt guy that's saying, damn, that independent suspension and rear end sure did make that car cut sideways, man. I've seen these guys drifting these cars through the corner, man, laid out at a 45-degree angle. Hauling tail, son. I don't know why we have to change that. As a matter of fact, I think with the bigger tires, the yaw of the car, man, I'm telling you, like I felt it, bro. I felt like they was on the edge of a dirt road hauling tail and the mail, son. I mean, it's still getting me excited. This is literally, in my opinion, you know, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, as we like to say. This is going to be the best 2 weeks of racing together in NASCAR. It's almost like it should be a holiday week, the whole week between Easter and Talladega, because, man, you got two bad-ass events that are side by side. You're coming off of Bristol dirt headed to Talladega Super Speedway. It's like going from dirt to Daytona, but instead it's Talladega.
Yeah, no. I mean, I like the race, and I think the car did its job. But if the only reason I said that is if NASCAR can't figure out what to do with these windshields, then go another avenue, but get rid of the windshield.
SRX did it right.
Yeah, Taz, please, Taz, end this debate now, Taz.
SRX did it right. They tested with the windshield and without a windshield when they were doing their test driving with their SRX cars, and SRX said, we're taking the windshields out because they watched NASCAR and made NASCAR look like a fool of themselves. So SRX was like, we're not going to do the same deal. We're taking the windshield out of it. And guess what? You got the true dirt racing experience out of that. And NASCAR is still behind the eight ball.
I completely just am crazy at the idea that folks actually believe it's not a real dirt race because A, they have windshields, and B, because it's not a real dirt track. I've been trying to figure out this all weekend as the darts of the world. What is darts of the world? What does Bubba Wallace call them? Dumbass race fans. Can we get a fart for that one? Some dumbass race fan. I mean, how are we going to argue about some windshield and not being a real dirt track? I mean, no doubt Bristol has concrete up underneath it, but bro, dirt is dirt.
No, I'm
That's
just
true.
going by. I'm just going by.
Okay, Craig, go.
I'm going by what Larson said. I want to know, but I really want to know why NASCAR waited. See, they make everything else public. They make everything else public that they've done with this car since the beginning, correct?
Yes, but they've also been racing on dirt for like 6 seasons now. Remember, they didn't just start with cup cars at Bristol. This started at Eldora with trucks, and they've used the windshield every single time. So I wasn't expecting in year 6 of a dirt race for fans to really want to. I mean, if that's all we had to bitch about was the windshield and it not being a real dirt track, man, I tell you what, we had an awesome weekend, didn't we?
No, and I get it. It was a great race. It was a lot better than everybody was making it out to be. NASCAR did their due diligence, I'm just curious
I'm
just curious to know why we waited 7 to 10 days before the race to try windshields when everything else NASCAR has done over the last 17 months of this stupid car was made public. They wait 7 to 10 days beforehand and go, oh no, this isn't going to work.
I'm going to go back to something when I learned how to drive on a dirt road out in the country we call Old Wire Road. When we was hauling tail down the dirt road and we was chasing somebody, most of the time you couldn't see anything because of the dust. But I'm going to promise you, we stuck our heads out the window of the driver's side door through most of the racing because that was how we thought we was going to get a better view. So, I mean, I don't know how much experience y'all got about running down a dirt road chasing each other, but I think I got that covered down here in Mississippi. And we look like Dale Earnhardt all slammed over on the side of the door trying to watch out the little side window because, man, you know, it's something about how the front view, the rear view mirror, not the rear view mirror, the side view mirror kind of helps, you know, guide those rocks and stuff from hitting you in the face.
But again, I mean, all in all, I think it was a successful race. I forgot, honestly, not that it was Easter Sunday, but when I had made the comment in the group chat about the stand, and then Taz had brought up it's Easter weekend, and I went, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only like the fifth time they've run. It's only like the fifth time they've run on Easter. So.
Yeah,
but can you agree
that's
that
the only
85,000
thing I could think of as to why the stands were not as packed as we probably thought. I'm pretty sure we're not the only ones that would have thought more packed stands for the weekend. But being that it was a holiday weekend, I could see the understandable why. But they did have a good amount. They did have a decent crowd, though. I will say, being that it was on a holiday weekend.
80,000 people.
There was how many, Chris?
80,000 people.
There was 80,000 people at that track?
Out of 120,000 capacity.
Okay. So that was good. I mean, but it just didn't look that full. TV then didn't do it justice.
And
which
4 million people were watching it on TV.
And what?
The numbers were good, guys. 4 million people watched it on TV, Craig Moore. This was a very successful race here. And people, you know, I mean, I think most people walked away from this race feeling like, you know what, we're going to forget about what happened last year. Last year they looked like a bunch of bum idiots. This year it had the feeling of a true dirt race. And maybe, you know what, I think the rain helped it more than anything, guys, as we jump on ahead over here. I think the rain made it the race that it was because it kind of felt like, you know, a couple of heat races and then the feature, the 30-lap shootout, kind of what it was there at the end, wasn't it, fellas?
Yeah. No, it was a great finale. A great last 30 laps. So, yeah, and getting back to what you had said, it was the most watched NASCAR event of any kind at Bristol since the spring of 2016. So it definitely.
Now, Craig, let me ask you something real quick. Does that say it out of all the Bristols? So it included the fall race, which is so revered because it's you know the best race of the year at Bristol. I mean, I'm jumping on this dirt train, baby. I got the whistle pulled. Toot, toot, because I mean, I feel good about it, man. And they've announced already 2023 is going to happen at Bristol. How about that, y'all? Woo!
Right.
It's going to happen again.
They said it averaged a 2.19 Nielsen rating and 4 million household views last week. Last year's race was rain delayed to Monday, where it averaged a 1.8 Nielsen and was viewed by 3.1 million. The most recent Cup race on Fox at Richmond 2 weeks ago had a 2.3 and 3.958 million views. So
almost double.
Right. The Camping World Truck Series, that race Saturday night, as we know, and it posted significant highly numbers in most recent events. The Bristol race averaged a 6.5 on Nielsen and was viewed by 1.1 million on FS1. I was part of the 1.1. Healthy advances on its Coda and Atlanta numbers on the same cable network. So definite improvement for both series going forward. And I think as they make changes to the race, I think definitely having it at night made a big difference. Chris, I agree with you. I think the rain brought a real aspect of dirt racing to it. Getting back to the grills, I know we didn't really touch on that yet, but when they did that competition caution at lap, 20, to clean off the grills, teams had the option of putting like a grill guard on the front or not putting it on, and the teams that actually opted to put it on, not putting it on, obviously had to come in and clean it. But I like that little addition.
I would.
You like
the
that?
Only,
did you?
The Bristol race, I like that it was night. The rain, yes. The grill thing, I think they got to figure out something. Actually, let's put it this way. I don't know what they really did in terms of track prep wise, but I think they should have. They should have at least done like a quick hot lap session, maybe just to dust the grill off. And I'm not saying, put the next gen cars on the track for a quick 2-3 minutes just to get the dust off the track and whatnot. But I would at least, try to get some of the track worked in fully so that way there you don't have these issues. I mean, it may happen anyways, but that might be an idea or something to consider, I would say. But the night race definitely helped out. I think the rain helped in terms of the track, but I would say it didn't really. It kind of killed the momentum because I remember Bob Parker saying something about while the rain helped some of the drivers in parts of the race, it kind of killed the momentum because at that point you're trying to see who could really prevail without having some sort of fresh track.
Okay, but isn't that what racing is about? I mean, we put so much emphasis on what Parker says, and not just us, but everybody that covers NASCAR seems to put a lot of emphasis on what he says. What he just said was something that we all know. I mean, change whether it's dirt or it's asphalt, you still have to be able to make the changes to race the track. In the first 2 segments, they weren't racing the track. They were racing the weather. They wanted to get to lap 126, so it was that way if it rained, it was in a torrential downpour, it was a done deal. And then obviously Amigo would have won it. But I don't know. I mean, I just think That's their job. Their job, whether we race on dirt or we race on asphalt or we race on sand, the job is to change your cars to be able to race in to deal with the changing track conditions. If not, race iRacing. If you don't want to race changing track conditions, that's their job. That's what they get paid big dollars to do, and that's why these crew chiefs make absurd amounts of money, is to figure out how these guys are going to race these cars on an ever-changing track condition.
I understand your point, Craig, but I'm just saying I would like to. As much as the rain helped in a sense, it kind of killed it in terms of momentum. And then, would the track have rubbered up more? Would we still see multi-groove racing without the rain? That's where I'm trying to get at, because who would have prevailed if we didn't have these rain delays? You know what I mean? I'm not against of what you're saying, but I'm also throwing it out there that I would have liked to see who would have prevailed in these type of track conditions without the rain delays. Because that track changed a lot over the course of the race. But would have
she kept getting damp. Most of the time the track goes dry, so she turns into this type of surface that almost resembles an asphalt track, because you get so much rubber put down, it turns into a dry, slick situation. You got a bunch of guys burning their right rears off. But what we've seen in this was a continuous of moisture being put back into the speedway, which in return gave us some awesome damn racing. But Taz, being that you from the dirt tracks like you are, that's a good eye, my friend, because I've been in dirt tracks for the last 10 years, and I know exactly what you're just talking about. And that is true. And I didn't know when I was stepping out on this stone that said, I think that the rain had to, a real advantage to the race being good. I didn't realize that's what I was saying until I really listened to your side of the point there, Taz. I kind of agree. I want to know what it would have been like without the rain.
I'll make it a point as to why I said that, because I'll make a local reference point. Back in 2019, I went to the Fonda 200 at Fonda Speedway, and the first 70 to 80 laps were ran before like a 2-hour rain delay, I believe it was. And how the race went was basically the first 15, 20 laps, everyone was trying to get the best position possible. Then it was a freight train of everyone riding the inside lane before, obviously, lap traffic would become a factor at some point. But for the most part, it was basically freight train racing on the inside groove. Then the rain delay came. And when the rain came through, everything that was rubbered up was now a fresh, brand new track. So while they ran the final first half of the race before their halfway break, they pretty much had a fresh, brand new track to burn 100 laps off with, because the first 20 laps was basically running the track in. So, I mean, so at that point, I would have thought, okay, who would have really won had the track, done this type deal? And that's where, when I listened to Pockrass, and then I made that relation way back then, it was like, okay, I would have liked to see who would have prevailed had the rain not been a factor. Who would have prevailed on a more dry, slick track? Would the track be multiple groove, or would we see more of a freight train style?
No, that is, I understand where you're coming from, Taz. I really do. I did ask Miss Lee, Mama Bear, and CJ what they thought. CJ echoed Miss Lee's sentiments. She said, I liked it being a night race, but not on Easter. I think the rain helped the track. And CJ agreed. And I think that's my only thing, is get it off of Easter. Easter and Mother's Day, man, they're sacred holidays. We used to not race on either.
But that's not what the ratings said, y'all. The ratings said people love to have something to do on a Sunday evening besides watch a stupid stick and ball sport, right? Because the NBA plays, Major League Baseball plays. There was UFC, there was WWE, there was golf, all these other sports that are willing to take that advantage. NASCAR has seen that that's an opportunity. Now I agree. You don't have a Easter noon race because that's not the time and appropriate place for it. But in the evening race, when you pulled 4 million viewers, I think the time slot shows you that that everything, it's like cooking with spice. Everything's just right.
I mean, I'd have to look at the ratings of everything else, but I do know that the USFL was on Sunday night. Or no, I'm sorry, Saturday, which is, not a new sport because we had it back, 15, 20 years ago. But, I mean, the ratings say one thing, so we'll have to see. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens in 2023 with the track. Yes, sir.
Craig, when the USFL was last apparent, Herschel Walker was played. Okay,
oh,
that was not
nice.
That was not 15 to 20 years ago, buddy. I'm
trying not to show that.
You
didn't have to say that I'm the oldest one on here,
My bad, Papa.
That's all right, buddy. I was trying to be positive, But wait, no, that was the XFL. That may have been 10 years ago. Yeah, the
XFL was 2001 or 2003 or something like that. Yeah. So
and then he tried it again a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but I think Donald Trump has filed bankruptcy 4 times since the USFL. So.
All right, we are on Stat of the Day. Stat of the Day.
How are we on Stat of the Day?
I don't know. That's what Taz just put in the group chat.
All right.
Okay.
So, I know Craig or Chris, you guys put in our chat thread one stat that was a great one to bring up. I have one where a tweet was made. It says, last night, which was Sunday night, was the 10th Cup Series last lap pass Kyle Busch was a part of. 4 wins. When he's been a part of it, he's gotten 4 wins and 6 losses out of it. That puts him with Michael Waltrip going 6 wins, 5 losses, Dale Earnhardt 4 wins, 8 losses, and Richard Petty 6 wins, 8 losses, as drivers involved in a double-digit number of last lap passes in the Cup Series. The best record all time of last lap passes of Cup Series racing is Cale Yarborough, who's actually won every single one of his last lap passes, or has won each involvement of the last lap pass in the races that he's won. So he's gone 7-0. Worst all time is Buddy Baker, who's winless of 0-5. Best active right now. If you two want to take a swing of who's best active right now, go right ahead. And you guys can also take a swing of who's the worst active right now.
Worst active, I'll go Bubba Wallace.
Okay, Craig, your best active guess.
Ross Chastain.
Chris, your guesses. Did we lose Chris?
We may have lost Chris.
Kevin
Harvick
Harvick
has it on.
Oh, wait, hold on. Kevin Harvick for best or worst?
Best.
And the worst?
Who did I say just a second ago? Oh, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Both of you are wrong because best active goes to Have It Your Way BK of 6-0. And the worst active is T-Rex going 0-4.
Interesting. All right.
Stat of the day. Stat of the day. Stat of the day.
Chris, I have to agree with the thing that you just posted, where Kyle Busch gets out of the car and says, "I feel like Dale Earnhardt." But you knew that he wasn't going to win. He wasn't going to endear himself to people. But hey, he was in the right place at the right time. And, those two decided to spank each other. And he was like, "Here, I'll help you."
Yeah, isn't that the point? I mean, you got to run up front to get a win. And so Kyle Busch did everything right all night long. And I don't know who, we said at the end of the show last week it was probably going to be somebody that was just wild. Well, I don't know if you could get any wilder than Kyle Busch winning a dirt race at Bristol. I mean, he should have been the first thought because of the success at Bristol. But, we decided to circle in the class favorites there with Chase Elliott and Cal Larson and that old boy
Christopher Bell, the ding dong.
Christopher Bell, yeah, the young money and the health guy.
I do have I was grateful for the fact that I don't know if we're up to checker flags and black flag segment yet, or whatever we call it.
Pretty much, we're there.
We throw this year right out the window because we didn't pick one. So.
I don't even know what it is.
Kobe cheese.
I was glad to see that. Kyle Busch didn't get out of the car and badmouth the car like he did the COT car back in 2007 when he won.
He kind of did. He did badmouth the car. He compared himself to Dale Earnhardt.
Well, yeah, but he didn't. He didn't do it directly, if you will.
What else did he say? What else did his smart ass say? I was just so glad.
I
am so glad that our sport has a villain.
I feel like Dale Senior right now, and I didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
He was just there in the right place at the right time.
I'm glad our sport has a villain, guys, because I think Chocolate Myers said they were booing him because he had said something about the dirt track or something like that. No, Chocolate Myers, they were booing him because even somebody like me, who is a fan of this guy they call Kyle Busch, I even boo him as a fan because we love the booze. He can take his bow. That's what he wants, and that's what we give him. I mean, we started this show many years ago, and I spent more time bashing Kyle Busch. Man, I ate that crow already. Man, this guy, he is the sport, man, and he needs to be in victory lane to be relevant. And so being able to back his way into a win here when two youngins just went out of control. I mean, we spent more time talking about this. What about the Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe, the two young guns of the sport? Not, what could Tyler have done different, But no, instead, we're going to talk about Candyman because Candyman got it done, man. That's what Candyman does.
Well, he said he could have not driven the corner so hard. He could have, he could have, he should have, he would have, but he didn't.
He didn't drop the wheels off of it, so he had no reason to be mad because he was actually he himself was trying to back his way into his first win by being easy on it. And guess what? It cost him, man. he was watching those mirrors because Briscoe was hauling tail to him, and it cost Tyler Reddick the race. Did Briscoe do wrong by dive bombing? Yeah, I guess. Did he really? I don't know.
But I was going to say, did he really? Because did he really? Because isn't that what you're supposed to be doing the last lap?
Yeah, that's the nature of the racers. This is not Dale Jr.'s racer NASCAR no more. I've told you guys that many times. And like I said, if both of them had tasted what that piece of cake tastes like, that some of these older drivers are like the Hamlin and the Harvicks of the world, and the Bushes of the world, they knew what that cake tasted like, they wouldn't have been smiling down there either. They would have been boxing. But these are two young kids who are just now starting to figure out that they're in the biggest sport, motorsport, in the whole entire world. And in a couple of years, it won't be smiles. You'll see Clint Boyer, a situation like Clint Boyer, where he's chasing down Jeff Gordon, who's running off into his holler. That's the future here, and it'll take about 10 years for us to really start to see the inside of guys bowling over like that.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I sound like Chocolate Myers just then by being just a little bit too much of a boomer.
No, you didn't sound like Chocolate Myers because you didn't do this.
Let me tell you there.
Honest to God, I do love listening to him and John Roberts, but I can't stand that. It's like, you're an expert. You've been doing this. You're an expert. You've been doing this 50 years. Like, I don't see what the problem is. You should know your star.
I don't know what's funnier, the fart noise or every time I hit it.
I'm done.
Okay, you didn't make it. You didn't make it to morning radio if you didn't know how to use the fart noise. So I'm just telling you right now. Okay, so back on track. Ben Rhodes, guys. Ben Rhodes. Come on, Ben Rhodes.
Well, I got that one right. I got that one right.
Buddy. Dang it, boy. Oh, Lord.
Let me go back.
Yeah. Tell us why you got that right, Craig. Why did you believe in Ben Rhodes at a dirt track?
Okay, you really want to know?
Yeah.
He was the first driver that popped in my head. He was legitimately the first driver I thought of when I knew it was time to do picks. And I thought, Ben Rhodes. I don't know why, but that was what popped. And when I seen that we were actually coming home from my dad's and my stepmom's, and I'm like, when I had heard that he had won the race, and I'm like, all right, I said to Teresa, I'm pretty sure I have Ben Rhodes. I got to look when we get home. Well, when we got home, I went to bed. I woke up Sunday morning, and I looked, and I was like, well, happy Easter to me. I got another win for the season. But honestly, there was no rhyme or reason. Yeah, there was honestly no rhyme or reason for why I picked Ben Rhodes.
I'll be dang. Well, guys, at 7:45, it's time for us to mention the fact that you can find us on all kinds of podcasts. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Google Chromecast, our podcast. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes. Man, you can go to Podpage and see all those networks that we're linked into, Craig Moore. We have a catalog of podcast places that syndicate the show here. But we want to thank our listeners for joining the show here on the live stream. Of course, if you missed part of the show, you can catch us on a replay with one of those podcasts, whichever favorite podcast you have, iHeartRadio, maybe Spotify or iTunes. Those seem to be the favorites there. Maybe you'll catch them on that as well. Now, Craig, we're going off into the segment of your favorite segment, black flag, checker flag, or checker flag, black flag. And but I wanted to give you a minute to finish what you were saying there.
No, as I said, there was really no rhyme or reason to it. So, I mean, and I think some of us do that. I know you and Taz, and more so Taz, studies the rankings and he looks at the numbers. He reminds me of, and this is a huge compliment, and Chris and Miss Lee and CJ, I think I know you. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. He reminds me a lot of Stats. God rest his soul. Taz studies the stats, and that's how he picks his driver, his drivers. I go by sheer what happened, whoever I think. Now, this weekend I've got a couple of picks, but we're going to save those obviously till the end. But I don't know. Kudos to Taz for putting all the stats together to make his picks, but sometimes you just got to go with the first driver that enters your mind, because sometimes that does pay off for you.
All right,
man, I'm interested. I'm ready to go with
so he was a Nostradamus, Mr. Nostradamus. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Nostradamus. What do you see in your crystal ball this weekend, Mr. Nostradamus? But we'll save that for later.
Yeah, we'll save that for later.
All right, come on, black flags, checker flags, guys. Let's give our ups and downs.
I was going to go last in this one because I wanted to see what you guys had lined up first.
Shoot, man.
Well, you haven't talked much yet, Taz, so we're going to let you talk.
All right, well, I'm going to throw a checker flag you guys probably weren't even thinking of throwing out anyways, because my checker flag goes up to North freaking Wilkesboro. We're back, baby. Bye-bye. That's right. North Wilkesboro returns. It will have races of grassroots series on asphalt races in August and then dirt in October, then a repave in 2023. August through October will be asphalt, and we'll see cars of the super late models, the street stock, pro late models, limited late models, open wheel modifieds, late model stocks, and the Hornet. Then for the dirt in October till whenever they stop racing, let's see, super late models, 410 sprint cars, big block modified, street stocks, open wheel modified, 602 crate late models, 604 crate late models, stock cars, and the Hornet. So yes, my checker flag is going on to North freaking Wilkesboro. We're back to the historic short track right there. Hell yeah. Woohoo! My black flag goes to the stinking rain for killing the momentum of the dirt race.
All right, so if I'll go, Chris, we'll save you for last, buddy. We'll let the old guy go second. My checker flag goes for the fans in attendance that stuck it out and the viewership at home. I think that, like you, they were looking for something to do. And 80,000 people at that place was phenomenal, although NASCAR didn't do it any justice. And 80,000 out of 100. And my black flag goes to Michael Waltrip.
What?
And Michael Waltrip.
Wait, what?
Listen. Michael Waltrip and the TV people behind the camera, the producers behind the camera. Taz, did you watch the race?
The cup race? Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, you know where I'm going with this?
No.
Okay, so every time they shot to Michael Waltrip, first of all, kudos to him for wearing sneakers. Okay?
Okay.
But
oh no.
You see, he needs to get some sun. He needs to come to South Florida and get on the beach.
No.
Get out of Owensboro, Kentucky, and come down and get some sun, because that boy got some chicken legs. They were white. Somebody should have told that boy. Yes, I agree, Miss Lee. Somebody should have told that boy that his pant legs were up and that he kept showing skin. Because I can't think of any other reason for a black flag. I mean, the weekend was phenomenal. As I said in my opening, if you didn't like this damn race, you're not a fan. Miss Lee, I'll give Miss Lee's checker flag to Fox for bringing back boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys. I thought Darrell was phenomenal. But, boy, has retirement aged him. He needs to get out of the house and do some stuff because Stevie is making him old. And she's got no.
Stevie was Mikey's wife.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was. I don't know. We'll have to look. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you may be right. Because now I'm thinking of. I think Buffy. Buffy, you're exactly
Buffy
right.
is Mikey's wife.
Walter's wife. Yeah. Okay. My bad.
Buffy is Mikey's wife. Stevie is Darrell's wife. But Miss Lee's got no black flag, so go ahead. We don't know what CJ's is, so go ahead, Chris.
Well, of course, you got to give checker flag to NASCAR, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, everybody got all excited last year. We saw two lads, and Marcus and them were already saying, hey, we're going to do this again. We're going to run this back. And you're like, I don't really know if it's going to be worth running back. And we were all kind of left up going up into this week of wondering what we were going to have here. And we wound up with a great race. We wound up with plenty of storylines to talk about. You hardly ever hear storylines in the NBA, right? Either it's LeBron James talking or it's really nothing, right? At hockey, you don't ever hear anything about hockey. Baseball, you'll only start hearing about baseball during trade season and all. But football and racing, man, there are storylines every single week, man. A page, tons of pages of storylines. And NASCAR just gave us some more, some good storylines that helps us create content on shows like this at Race Chat Live. My black flag's got to go to Tyler Reddick, guys. I mean, it's just he wrecked you. You were on your way to your first win, and man, I mean, it's just I don't want people. He kind of it come off like I want to use this word loosely, but it come off like he kind of got bullied there, and I don't want to see Tyler Reddick turned into a pushover. I know that the kid probably comes from a pretty wealthy family and all, and he's a little guy, but then he reminded me so much of Martin that, I guess, the reason why Martin didn't win the Daytona 500 is because he's a nice guy, right? The reason why Martin didn't win a championship is because he was a nice guy, right? Nice guys are most of the time the bridesmaids, that and I've got this superpower feeling that Tyler Reddick could be the next ultra star, superstar. And when you see a guy get knocked out of the way like that, you want to say, okay, well, great, he showed good sportsmanship. He didn't get all mad about it. But, man, my gosh, it was your first victory. In the garage, they're all walking. Those guys on your pit crew team, they're walking away wondering, man, we worked hard to put you there, and you didn't go to bat for us. And I think that's something that we're all missing here. It's not just Tyler Reddick that makes that race team go fast. Every single one of those guys in that garage that work on Tyler Reddick's car, and they, my friends, they got their heart broke, and their driver didn't take up for them. If Tyler Reddick had shown some true enough upset, I'm going to whoop your ass type content, then those guys would feel a little bit better this week at the shop. But now they're just wondering whether or not their guy has what it takes to actually put their car into victory lane. That's my. I know it's a sad black flag, but that's where I stand, fellas.
No, and I get it. I think that he could have shown some moxie. You know, he should have been upset. He shouldn't have. I'm not saying pull a Ty Dillon and throw some punches, but he didn't even. He was. It was almost like, oh shit, he's a good old boy. You know,
yeah,
the good old boy syndrome. You know, so, but I think maybe he was a little worried about.
Tommy done shot one of his renters and killed him. You know, we can't do nothing to Tommy. Hell, he's been written to the lowlifes for a dozen years.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, Tommy, why you want to shoot that feller?
Exactly. But I think that he's learned the lesson, and I don't think maybe next time he'll be so calm, cool, and collected. At least I hope not.
I agree. I hope not either, because it puts a bad impression for his race team, who all of those guys on that pit wall were just 200 yards away from celebrating their first victory on that 18. So it's not just it's not just his mama's broken heart. It's every other crew chief and every other crew member in that garage for the RCR number 18. I've been waiting a long time to see that number 8 get back into victory lane as well. I remember all the number 3 pushers. Well, one day we'll see the 3 back in victory lane. Man, I'm ready to see that number 8 back in victory lane, because I don't think there's a better driver out there driving it than Tyler Reddick. And, I thought, for real, Craig, I thought you was Nostradamus. I thought you had done picked it out. You done looked into the crystal ball, and you had seen what was going on. And but unfortunately, Chase Briscoe, a driver that I like a lot, thought that he deserved it a little bit more. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Man, I'm excited about this next segment that we got coming up, guys. It's been a while since we were able to kick it over to Taz and let him give us some updates about what's going on in the northeastern region of America. And it looks like that the snow's going to be melting pretty soon, and the flowers are going to start growing, and y'all are going to start your dirt track season up there. Am I right, Taz?
Well, we've kind of kicked off, in a sense, depending on what track you want to talk about. But Fonda Speedway was supposed to start this past Saturday, but because of rain, it's not happening now. So the season opener will actually be on the 22nd, I believe, that's Saturday. No, 23rd. I'm sorry, 23rd. Be this Saturday, the 23rd. That will be the Montgomery County Open, honoring Jumpin' Jack Johnson. The Sunoco Modifieds with sail panels will race 40 laps the distance, and they'll be competing for a $12,000 winner's paycheck, $1,000 for the 10th place finisher, and $500 to start. The event will only offer 25 show-up points for all of the modified competitors and will utilize the draw-redraw format. Also on tap will be the Swagger Factory Apparel, Crate 602 Sportsman, Montgomery County Office for Aging Limited Sportsman, Algonquin Motel Pro Stocks, and Fonda Fair 4-cylinders. And all of those classes will open up their weekly points season this Saturday as well. For this Saturday, as well as the Mohawk Valley Vintage Dirt Modified Series, they'll make their first visit of this season to the Track of Champions, and they will also kick off their 2022 season this Saturday as well.
What about Albany, Saratoga, Taz?
They did run Friday night. They had, I don't remember how many mods they had. They had a whole bunch right there. But as far as results from this past Friday night, it was the Batman Peter Britton. He won the modified feature event Friday night at Albany Saratoga Speedway, followed by Matt DiLorenzo, Lightning Larry White, Magic Mike Mahaney, and Michael Maresca, the top 5. The sportsman division had Cody Oakes with the win, Walt Hammond second, the Lunchbox, Chad Edwards third, Alex Bell fourth, and BC Brian Calabrese, the top 5. The Pro Stock division had Rob Yutman with the win, Jason Melt second, Jason Casey third, the Cousin Luke Horning in fourth, and Kim Duell round out the top 5. In the limited sportsman division, it was Chris Crane Jr. with the win, Alex Lane second, Evan Roberts third, Craig Holy fourth, and Tommy D'Angelo, the top 5. In the street stock division, it was Paul Bramer with the win, Andrew Fitzgerald second, Jimmy Duncan third, PJ Cram Jr. fourth, and Racing Jason Samroff, the top 5. As far as Utica Rome Speedway, their season will be opening up very, very soon. Trying to pull up the date for when they kick off their season. They will kick things off on 22nd with an open practice session. And they will prepare for a Honoring Alex special on April 29th, which is their season opener. So not this coming weekend, but next weekend will be the Utica Rome Speedway season opener as well. The Short Track Super Series for up here in the Northeast kicks off, or they've already kicked off, I should say. Obviously, they started in Florida, then they ran at Cherokee, they ran at Orange County Fair Speedway. Next up for the series will be the Diamond State 50 at Delaware International Speedway. They'll be there on Tuesday, April 26th. This will be the South Region round number 2 race. And heading into that night will be the Ringo's Rocket Ryan Godon being the point leader after his triumph at Port Royal Speedway with his win there.
And real quick, Taz, I just looked because I was going to ask you, and then I said I figured I'd look myself so I could help you out. Glen Ridge Motorsports Park over in Fultonville, open practice on the 24th, and their season kicks off the 1st, Sunday night. Dollar Hot Dog opening night. So, Chris, you might want to hurry up and fly up here for $1 hot dogs. Might want to fly up there, I should say, for $1 hot dog. All divisions, all points begin. Thanks to the man with the red chair, whoever that is. Free popcorn by Jason Fitzgerald Racing and Classic Muscle Parts for Glen Ridge Motorsports Park over in Fultonville, the town of Glen in upstate New York. So that's a nice little fast track for anybody up in the area. Speaking of next week, we're going to have Swagger Factory Apparel and Team 1H Schaefer Racing Guru Mike Jackson joining us to talk about their upcoming season, and they're going to be joining us in the 9 o'clock hour. So be sure to everybody tune in for that as well. But I'm looking forward to hearing the racing calls from Fonda. Apparently they're going to have, you said they're going to have practice tomorrow night, Taz?
If they can get it in, they're going to do it.
Awesome. That's good. That's great, because I know Jeremy Terrell and his father Jeff are chomping at the bit to get some practice in. So, that'll be good. So what are we going to do next, boys?
Chris, do you have anything in your end of the woods?
We got hit by a tornado 2 weekends in a row at the racetrack. We had to make a call for the Super Late Model race. I'm not sure anybody got any racing in this past weekend, so it's been pretty quiet around our neck of the woods.
Sometimes quiet is good, but not in that case. If you know what I mean.
Not at all on that one.
Hey, real quick, we forgot this when we were talking about the races for this coming weekend. Gregson is going to be sponsored by the girl with their little red ponytail. Wendy's a sponsor in Gregson's car at Talladega this weekend. So, that's pretty cool.
I knew Mr. Wendell would come through. Oh, wait, wrong person. Never mind.
So, we don't have a whole lot going on down here either. They race, but par for the course. I can't get to anything. I can't find anything on Facebook or on their website. I've reached out to Mr. Ken Kenny a few times, and I've asked him to get me his finishing order so we can talk about it. So until he does that, or until he posts it on a regular basis, I have nothing to report here from South Florida, except for Taz, just to reiterate one more time, Chris and I have zero white stuff on the ground. And you've apparently got a tree. You apparently have a tree that needs to come down, but your white lady is not going to let you handle a chainsaw.
Oh, no, she'll let me depending on that one, but...
ARCA is racing this Saturday at Talladega. Before the Xfinity race, ARCA West is at Kern Raceway Saturday as well. So it's going to be a full weekend of racing at Talladega this weekend. We're going to have the ARCA Series, the Xfinity Series on Saturday, and then the Cup Series on Sunday.
Now, ARCA, I'm pretty sure ARCA West will be on Flow Racing, but I'm not sure if the main ARCA Series will be. So if you got Flow Racing, you better get it. $150 a year. It covers all the tracks, all live racing events, regardless of wherever they are. Plus replay. So if you missed a live event, you can go rewatch it. You can rewatch it over again and again and again. I wouldn't go that extreme, but still.
No. I want to give a huge shout out to, while we're waiting for Chris, we'll move on to our next ARCA topic as well. Huge shout out to Carolina Sports Plus. Again, if you missed any part of this show, I don't know why you would miss it. It's a great show. You can listen to it on Apple. You can listen to it on Apple iTunes. You can listen to it on Spotify. You can listen to it on Google, iHeart. There's a bunch more that we can listen. You can re-listen to this show. If you're not, you got here late. Shame on you. We understand, but shame on you. You should block off 8 o'clock at night on Tuesday nights for Race Chat Live on Blog Talk. Want to thank the illustrious Mr. CJ Sports, who hosts Monday night, his show. For we have the website, the 110 Nation Sports, I believe it is, for the next century and a half. So be looking for new articles up there. I know at the bottom of the hour we've got 2 questions coming up. I'll give you a hint as to what they are. Why do they roll the track backwards? Why do they run the Packer cars backwards on a dirt track?
Ooh, I like this question.
And why don't, when on a dirt track, the windshields break when mud is slung up on them, or rocks? We're going to be answering those two questions right around the bottom of the hour at 9:30, 9:40. So be listening for those. If you ask those questions, be listening for those answers coming up at the bottom of the hour. What do we've got now, Taz?
Oh, boy. I think the only thing we got is Dega.
All right, well, let's talk Dega. There is some really big news at Talladega. First off, in the Xfinity race, Jeffrey Earnhardt is going to be back behind the wheel of a number 3 at Talladega. Jeffrey Earnhardt is going to be driving the Richard Childress number 3 entry on top of the pit box for the first time. And if you thought Stone Cold coming back at WrestleMania this year was huge, Taz, Larry Mack is going to be on the pit box for Jeffrey Earnhardt at Talladega. So that is, and that's not something that just like in the last week or so, Larry Mack decided, hey, this is a good idea. This was in the works for a while.
Oh, I had to have yeah, we'll get to that in a minute there, Miss Lee.
That was in the, that's been in the works for a while.
Oh, definitely.
So I expect, I don't know if I necessarily expect him to win, but with a crew chief like Larry Mack on top of the toolbox, even though he's got a few less hairs up there on top.
I mean, I'm hoping that he studies these Xfinity cars very well. I know he's a crew chief, and I know he's got the brains to do it, but, I mean, since last time he's crew chief till about now, and I know he's been the Fox crew chief, but, I mean, crew chiefing from a broadcast standpoint versus crew chiefing down on the track side, got to be two different
totally
deals.
Different. But if you don't think that he has spent time over the last 5 months, because this was arranged in the off season. There's probably a good chance this was arranged in the off season or right after Daytona. For him to be on top of the pit box, he's been studying these cars. And I expect good things out of old J.E. come Saturn. Now, I'm not saying he's my Xfinity pick. I'm not saying that at all. Or am I? Well, you'll just have to wait and find out. But I do expect that he should run up in the top 15. And Larry Mack, I'm sure he's a student of his profession, even at age whatever he is, 90. So I'm sure he's done his homework and has studied these cars inside and out. So, all right, Taz, and I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about this, in my mind, a waste of talent series. I'm sorry, the SRX. So I just wish they raced more. What do they race? 6 races. I wish they would race more so they would get a little bit more. They have an awful lot of press for only racing 6 times a year. So, and they put out a lot of stuff. So I'm hoping that, maybe in a year or two that they up their schedule at least to 8 to 10 races. And, Tony Stewart can't race because he's broke a leg or something. But what do you got, Taz?
So last time I mentioned anything SRX related, compared to now, so I think there's a decent amount of news to break out. we have Bubba Pollard, who at Five Flags Speedway, I think it was not this past weekend, but the weekend prior, they had a big super late model twin feature race, and whoever got the best finish or best average finish from those two races got to earn themselves a ride in an SRX car, and Bubba Pollard was part of that as what. So Bubba Pollard got the best average finish, and he earns himself the ride at Five Flags. He is, however, still in the vote hunt for the Nashville short track. For the Nashville short track ride right there. But I do believe last I remembered it was Brittany Zamora who was leading that field. I'm going to try to pull that up real quick for you guys here because there were 6 drivers, I believe, that was up on that voting call. Like I said, Brittany Zamora, Bubba Pollard, Stephen Nace was in there. There's a few others as well. I know I'm missing them, and I got a hit on those too. But like I said, yep, here it is. Okay, so the 6 drivers to vote for is Brittany Zamora, Bubba Pollard, Stephen Nace, Cole Williams, Michael House, and Dylan Fetcho. And last on an update was about 2 weeks ago. Brittany Zamora is the new leader in the fan vote. Bubba Pollard still in second, and Stephen Nace in third. But that is that there. But Bobby Labonte has picked up sponsorship for the SRX this year. Tony Stewart obviously picked up what was known last year as Sun RV Resorts. Now they rebranded to now they're called the Sun Outdoors. So Tony Stewart will no longer be in the orange car, but he'll be in the navy blue car and still with the same sponsor, even though people will say, oh, it's a new sponsor. No, it's the same sponsor. They just rebranded. Marco Andretti goes from the black car to the orange car, sponsored by Fram. And Bobby Labonte, as it broke out today, will go from the teal car last year. He'll now be piloting the white car, sponsored by Sport Clips Haircuts. And I believe that's all I have for now because nope, I forgot one more. Peyton Sellers was signed to be the South Boston local representative for the SRX when the series visits the South Boston track. And that was broke out the day when the Smart Modified Tour was down there racing their race at that famous, very racy track too. And I actually do believe that is all I have for now on the SRX side of things.
All right. Well, we're moving right along, fellas, and it looks like we could turn our attention to what's going on this weekend at the big track, Talladega Super Speedway. Big news coming out. An Earnhardt will be in the 3-car, and somehow Fox pulls off borrowing Dale Jr. from NBC. I think it's a super-duper weekend plan.
Yeah. Real quick, I was muted, so Taz didn't. I was just busting your ass about SRX, Taz. I actually like hearing the updates. I just wish they would do more than 6 races, so hopefully in the next issue they can do it.
Or if they did,
because I'd like to be able to see it.
Or if they did, sorry to interrupt, but or if they did like 6 races, like summer's fine, but maybe like 6 races in the fall type deal. That's what I think. But
right.
No.
So listen, Chris, we love you, but you're late on Larry Mack. But we talked about that. But I think that is super, super cool. We know you were taking care of something, so we hope we got it taken care of. Storyline coming into Daytona this weekend, Talladega this weekend. A lot of super speedway testing leading into this Talladega race, entering the 2022 season. They've been a lot of testing around the advent of the next-gen car and prepping for Talladega. There was a NASCAR organizational test at Daytona for both that track and Talladega back in September of 2021. Goodyear decided to add a tire test in December, and it made a change to reduce the stagger in the super speedway tire setup. So they're gonna change that. With Chris, can you explain the stagger difference between maybe 2-mile track and, say, Talladega, Daytona? Like,
well, I mean, you got a half a mile difference between a 2-mile track, and I really am not the that's above my wheelhouse, man. When it comes to stagger and camber and stuff like that, I would guess the more the embankment, the more stagger that you can apply. But that's about as much as I know. I am not the Larry Mack. I wish I had my old buddy Steve. That would be a good question for him.
Yeah. No, I wasn't sure if you knew the answer to it. But I did while you were giving your answer. I basically looked it up. In basic terms, stagger is the difference between the circumference of the left and right side tires, and this difference can really affect how the car moves through the turns. On oval track, right side tires are typically larger than left side, sometimes as much as 2 inches in circumference. And not for nothing, but size matters in that. In that one case, size does matter. So that is what stagger is. I'm looking forward to the race this weekend I knew it was kind of, and yeah, Chris, you hit the nail on the head. Lisa, that would have been a question for our good buddy Steve. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I think we're getting 2 wild card races back to back is going to be phenomenal. I consider the Bristol dirt race a wild card because you never know what you're going to get. And then, of course, you go to Talladega, and God, anything can happen. You can have the big one. You can have the junior big one, lap 5, and then you wait 183 laps, and then you get the big one on the last lap. So, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know about Taz, but I will say, Taz, this new job is killing us here, buddy. You're not as prepared as you used to be. Like giving us our lineups. But what do you got for this week?
I was actually working on that, sir.
I'm just busting. I know you got a lot going on up there with that beautiful little daughter of yours, and then your other beautiful daughter, and then your boy. So I know you got a lot going on up there. Plus the new job, plus you just bought a new house, and you got a tree come down this week, and your girlfriend's going to go out and cut it because she doesn't trust you with a chainsaw, Chris. So you know how that goes. So I'm definitely looking forward to Talladega. What do you got about Talladega, Mr. Taylor?
I think Dega's going to do what Dega always does. I think it'll provide some great entertaining racing. I'm thinking that stage 1 will be quiet. Stage 2, we might start seeing some shaky moves be made, but of course, you know how these super speedway races go. The big moves always come when the final 20 laps start picking down. Sometimes the final 30. But we all know who our main super speedway races are. So, I mean, it'll be great to see Jeffrey Earnhardt pilot the number 3 in Xfinity with Larry Mack on top of the box. I believe Clinton Boyer will be piloting the Davey Allison car during pace laps on Sunday's race at Dega as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised Chris didn't bring that up. But yeah, I heard about that last week or the week before, and I was super excited for that. Miss Lee said Dega is a crapshoot just like Daytona, and she's absolutely right. You never Talladega and Daytona, to steal a line from Forrest Gump, is just like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. And so I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat on Sunday when that race goes down, coming back, watching that, waiting for the big one. Those of you who say you watch the races to watch the cars go round and round and round and round and round are lying. You watch it for the accidents, and it's okay, because I think we all do. As long as nobody gets killed, excuse me, as long as nobody gets killed, we're, we want to see the crashes. And if you don't, well then, no, I can't really say that I don't understand. Here's an interesting fact. There are 3 drivers who have won on their birthday 5 times. Kale Yarborough has won on his birthday twice. It's happened 5 times. Kyle Busch won on his birthday twice, and Matt Kenseth once. They're the only drivers to ever win a points-paying race on their birthday. So, if stats are true, the next person to be able to win on his birthday is Kyle Busch on May, because his birthday is on May 2nd. We have got the fan questions coming up. The first fan question went like this. I'm going to paraphrase it, not do it. I already looked at the questions. The drivers in the NASCAR, in the next-gen cars, or in the previous additions to the cars, they run on the dirt. Their windshields don't break when chunks of mud or rock come up. The question was asked, well, why is that? But when I'm riding on the highway and a rock comes up or something comes up and hits my windshield, it will crack my windshield. The answer is quite simple. The windshields in the Xfinity, in the Cup and Truck Series are made of Lexan. They're not made of glass. Lexan is what they use to make bulletproof vests. So that way they're durable. They can withstand a tire smacking them or, a bottle coming out of the stands. And any fan that does that needs to be ejected. But same thing goes for dirt and mud and rocks from a dirt race. For these cars and trucks, they can withstand it. So I hope that answers your question. The second question was this: why is the when the Packer cars run on a dirt track, and I don't know how they do it down where you're at, Chris, but up from where we're from, the Packer cars, and we noticed it at Bristol this weekend when they were running in the track. They ran it backwards. They ran it Alan Kulwicki style. And I did all the research I could find. And it is because the track, if they were to run it in the clockwise way, it would further embed the water, is the best that I can come up with. They run it counterclockwise because it helps to keep most of the moisture in the track. That is the best way that I can explain it. Taz, do you have anything, or Chris, for either one of those questions?
So for the first one, pretty much basically what you said, Craig. The windshields on the race cars are basically made of certain materials because obviously you're going to have things fly up regardless if it's fluid or asphalt or a piece of dirt. It's going to hit your windshield some way or fashion. Of course, you know, how we would normally drive when things like that happen, it cracks our windshields and stuff like that. Obviously, if you do that to a race car, it's going to be a distraction. It's going to cause problems. So they got to make material that resolve that problem. As for the second question, the Packer cars run the track in backwards to help with moisture issues, as Craig said. Because when the cars go forward, the dirt and the surface is basically going the one way. So when they pack the track in, they got to go the opposite direction just to kind of help keep the moisture in and keep it level, because it's not going to really be level and very racy at all if you just stick it to one direction.
All right. So, Chris, you got anything, buddy?
Actually, I was looking for something here. It's a scientific word that happens when moisture comes back up from the soil or from the dirt as the night goes on. I've been told the term several times, and I just can't seem to find it at this point in time. But it definitely is a science to the reason why you roll the track in backwards. It's kind of one of those things. But I think it's a very interesting point about the Lexan being used on the windshields as well. Like that's a clear, tough armor. It can be used to make bulletproof vests and stuff. So Teflon and stuff like that is also the same type of material that's found on the windshields of these race cars. And they've, of course, they have tear-offs on them as well. So that's another thing with that. But I was looking for the certain word, and I cannot. It's not condensation. It's a more scientific word. I learned it in botany. Unfortunately, that was about 17 years ago. So I'm having a hard time finding that answer there. It starts with a C, and it has to do with moisture rising up from the dirt as the sun goes down. So that's how moisture winds back up in a racetrack. You'll see them dry off, and then you'll hear, the Kenny Wallaces of the world point out that there's moisture at the bottom of the speedway or at the top of the speedway. Well, the reason why there's moisture there is because as the sun goes down, that moisture is being drawn up from the ground. And so when you lay the track down the opposite way, it's kind of like the way that you would pre-ice a cake. You're going to come back and you're going to fold that icing down the opposite way of when you're forming the cake, basically the base there. So it's really it is one of the signs. Hey, look, racing's not for dumb people. I promise you. The guys that get it, there's a reason why they get it. It's because they're very, very smart. Yes, that's it. Yes, thank you. I don't know how to say it though. Capillary. That's exactly. Some people do listen to the show. That's amazing.
Capillary?
Yeah, capillary action. Right, exactly. But that kind of helps that happen. It's crazy, man. I had an old timer tell me this, years ago. Now, of course, being in botany, we studied that, but I couldn't think of the name of it. So, let's see if we can get a definition for that real quick. And it'll kind of explain what I mean there. So I believe a farmer is the one that actually answered this question. So shout out to the farm life. Several people around here I'd like to see shovel some shit. Capillary action is the process of liquid flowing in a narrow space without assistance or even opposition any external forces like gravity. So, what is capillary action? Is the movement of water within the space of porous material due to forces of adhesion, cohesion, or surface tension. The ability of a liquid to flow in narrow space without the assistance of sometimes opposition to external forces like gravity. So if that makes any sense to you guys, that's the reason why they pack the track in backwards.
Well.
All right. So we just had a science class here at Race Chat Live. Of course, the silence is their
get your learning.
Their term. It's the override of their intelligence factor here. So I'm just gonna hush and get ready for my picks here tonight.
Well, Chris, don't try to prepare too hard because you're first on deck.
That's great. Awesome. So we got any more news for Talladega? I think we've covered Dale Jr. in the booth. What are the chances of Ricky Stenhouse winning? Yeah, Larry Mack returning to the crew chief stand. How about Corey LaJoie's rendition of Larry Mack? I thought, I know Larry Mack's the easy guy to make fun of and all, but Corey LaJoie made an imitation that is just absolutely priceless. We didn't get to say what was on Door Bumper Clear because Door Bumper Clear's podcast didn't drop until about an hour ago. So that kind of left us without knowing what some other guys that are popular in racing talked about. I haven't caught any Dale Jr. downloads. I was able to listen to a little bit of the morning drive this morning, and then a little bit with Danielle Trotta and Corey LaJoie. So, and probably the first 5 minutes of Chocolate Myers and John Richards. Is that who it is?
John Roberts.
John Roberts. Holy hell. But, so submit your fan questions. You can submit it to anybody here in the group, or you can submit it directly to the pages. We want to give a shout-out to my farming buddy, Miss Rebecca, for keeping actually giving us something this time that we actually had to look up and just not spur off at the top of our head of what it is. But a shout-out to the person who asked the question of why the cars were rolled in backwards. I also heard that question asked on I believe it was with Dave Moody earlier, or maybe it was Chocolate Myers and them. I'm not sure, but that question was asked on the air. No, it was asked by Corey LaJoie, and Corey was like, "Hey, I was asking the same question." So I was kind of itching in my seat to give that answer there, and then I totally forgot the word. So, all right. Any other news coming up about Talladega that we need to discuss, fellas? We are off next week, right?
What's that, Chris?
We don't have a show next week, right?
Yes, we do have a show next week.
Oh, okay. I thought in the beginning of the year we had agreed to not. Okay, that's cool. We'll. Okay. So, all right, that's cool. Do we have a guest coming on?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have Mike Jackson from Swagger Factory Apparel joining us.
That just makes me look like a darn fool, and I'm very sorry that I was ill-informed on that area. I thought that we had discussed taking a few weeks off out of the year, and that was one of the ones that I had circled was the week after Talladega, because it's such a we're still recovering most of the time by Tuesday, but we'll squeeze it in and we'll keep the show going. If not, I'm sure that you guys will be able to handle it. But check out Southern Dirt Track Report there on Thursday nights. We may have, it's all good, man. Do not worry about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I thought we were going to have to talk a little bit about the next race after Talladega, but it's all good. Shout out Southern Dirt Track Report. They'll have their show Thursday night. We're getting ready for the Jay Dillon show to start here on the 110 Nation Network, Blog Talk Radio. We have more details to come about the Jay Dillon show. We do know it's going to be on Sunday night, and it starts in the month of May. So more to come on that. Of course, the 110 Nation Sports Show. If you like sports and sports in general, Mr. CJ Sports will sit down and talk to you about it. He has all kinds of sports that he talks about on Monday night. Join his show. All of the show times start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central. We've talked Talladega. Of course, we got the Xfinity race. Look, we have not, my wife and I have not attended an Xfinity race in probably, what do you say, babe, like 6 years? Probably 6 or 7 years. We're always there, but that's kind of our time where we just kind of sit back and chill at the campsite and enjoy our Saturday. Look, as badass as the Xfinity Series has been this year, there is without a doubt that I'm going to be there in my seat in General Grandstand on Saturday watching that Xfinity race because, man, I tell you what, I expect it to be hammered down, one of the best races of the year. There is a lot of awesome talent right now in the Xfinity Series, a lot of guys trying to make a name for themselves, and without a doubt, the last race, the Xfinity race at Talladega, proved to be one that will, I say created a meme, right? FJB, right? Let's go, Brandon. So no telling what will happen at this Xfinity race. It was cool to hear Beard Racing spokesperson, team manager, Brendan Gaughan. He was on. He talked about Noah Gragson getting the nod this weekend and bringing Wendy's on board. Wendy's is going to be on the 62 Beard Motorsports machine. Of course, this is a part-time entry in the Cup Series. They are only racing the super speedway races, but they have brought Wendy's on board. And Wendy's is going to be in the infield serving $5 big baggies. So get your big bag for $5 down in the infield area at Talladega Super Speedway this weekend, and root for our buddy Noah Gragson as he goes for his first Cup win in the 62 Beard Motorsports Chevrolet. And Craig, I tell you what, man, you got a show in tonight, man. You talk so much, I'm not even sure if Taz is still a co-host here.
That happens.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get our picks in.
Get enough time to see around.
Yep, it's picked. So, I want to go for Brandon Brown again, right? I think he was not on our radar last time around, but he has definitely showed that he likes these types of races. And he reminded me of Chris Fontaine. Chris Fontaine always ran well, and he stood out at these Cup races. I mean, at these super speedway races. But as I'm looking at the entry list, of course, Jeffrey Earnhardt stands out as one of my favorites. I can't pick a favorite, guys. I'm too far in the hole. I've got to have a balanced pick here, and somebody who I believe is going to really help me. And I've seen too many times somebody like A.J. Allmendinger turn it upside down. So as I'm looking through my list, I think Landon Castle may be a good sleeper pick for somebody if they were really, looking for one that just seems kind of off the wall. But look, man, Austin Hill has had such an amazing run. Man, he stands out. Austin Hill, I think, is going to be a good pick on my behalf. I'm going to pick him to take home the win in the Xfinity Series. Over on the Cup side, I've got my favorites, of course. If it drives a Ford, I probably like them. So that's going to be, Logano. It could be Kevin Harvick. But, you know, I think I'm going to stick with a guy who y'all are probably going to be like, do what? But he's got more wins at Talladega than any other driver in the Cup garage right now. There's without a doubt, I feel like this is the weekend for Roush Fenway Racing to come back and step back on the big stage. Brad Keselowski, baby. Brad Keselowski for the win at Talladega.
Wow. Chris, I never thought I would hear you swing that, see you swing for that one.
I gotta go on stats, man. And Keselowski has the stats at Talladega, baby. As a matter of fact, I believe with the win here, he would be he would set his name on a list that only a couple of greats are on. So we'll see. I'll have that stat ready for next week.
All right. Well, next up in the pick lineup is me, and Chris has my pick for the Xfinity side. I'm going Austin Hill, and for the Cup side, oh boy, something tells me about the Toyota camp. I'm looking at maybe Denny Hamlin, maybe Kyle Busch, or we could say Martin Truex Jr. is a sleeper guy since he's never won a super speedway race. But there's also Hendrick Motorsports out of the Chevy camp. Oh, God. With that being said, my pick is going to be none other than the Team Penske driver, Ryan Blaney. As for Mr. CJ's picks, he's got Noah Gragson for the Xfinity side and Showman the Hack Alex Bowman for his Cup pick. Which brings us to, I believe, it is none other than production manager, Miss Lee Reed. You are on the chopping block. Craig, you're on deck after her. All right, she goes Dinger. Mr. Dingaling for the Xfinity. Let's see who she's got for the Cup side. She's going to go Giggles Logano for the Cup side. All right, Craig, swing for the fences.
Hello?
Craig?
I had myself unmute. Miss Lee says she did no present preparation. She took no preparation for this pick, for her picks. So she's going the Craig Moore route. I'm going to also go with Allmendinger for the win on Saturday. And is everybody sitting down?
Sure.
Okay. Chris, are you sitting? Because my pick for Sunday is none other than Bubba Wallace.
I'm leaving this room.
Show's over. Show's over. It's over. I'm seriously fixing to hit the end episode. Going once, going twice. This show is over. You know, we're just going to kick Craig out for the rest of the show. Yeah, Craig's gone. think I hung up on him. We're not allowing him back on the show, Taz.
Wow. Put him back on. I want to see what he does.
He did mute me, the bastard. My pick for Sunday, seriously, in all seriousness, Miss Lee wants me to explain why Bubba, just because I knew what would happen. I wanted to give everybody a good laugh. In all seriousness, my pick for Sunday is Larson.
Get out of here.
I think Larson is. I think Larson's going to be your winner. But wouldn't everybody just about die if Bubba did actually win a race that wasn't rain shortened?
It would just fuel more fire to the conspiracy that super speedway races are fixed.
Yeah. So here, I've got something I want to bring up. We got a couple of minutes left. We can discuss it if we want to do it. Then we can post it. I put in the chat. Bonus point for picking the lap plus or minus 3 laps for the big one. 10-point bonus. It has to include at least 8 cars. So, or 10 cars. Just something I'm throwing out there just as a joke. To make it interesting. We do plus or minus on football, so I was just throwing it out there. Something I thought about.
I mean, I would throw it out there without points, but
I mean, you're not going to lose.
So
points,
what are we doing? Most of the time the big one happens with 50 to go. Are we doing before 50 to go or after 50 to go?
You have a 3-lap waiver period.
Right, so it can happen on lap 135 to 138 or 139. Between 130, like that. Because it happens.
Chris, if you pick, say, lap 142, you have up to 145 and as low as 139.
Yeah, this is not going to be Daytona, guys. This is Talladega. This is going to be a completely different beast. There's no part shortage now. These guys are they're going to be all out. They're going to be all over the place. They're really going to trying to figure out how to drive this car. Remember, first time they didn't know what the hell the car would do. This time around, they're going to try to test this car to make it do more than what it did at Daytona. So I would probably go with somewhere around lap 40, maybe lap 50, early on in the race when you see the big one. Probably lap 47.
All right, so Chris,
remember there's
lap 47.
188 laps. 188 laps in this race. But now what qualifies as the big one? So if there's 8 or more cars, right? So we can have multiple big ones, or do we go with the most cars wrecked in car? Okay.
Right, it has to be the most wrecked cars in the big one. Or we could just go for what we think is going to be the biggest one. Again, we can toy with it in the group chat and then put our thoughts.
Or I wouldn't say the lap. I would say how many cars would get involved in the big one. What?
All right, yeah, we can toy with it in the chat.
Yeah, let's do how many cars are caught in the big one. So
right.
that's kind of on the Price is Right. That way, if you pick $1, you're the closest one to it. You know what I mean? So let's do it. Let's do that like the Price is Right does when they're calling you up on the stage. We'll whoever's the closest to the amount of cars wrecked gets the bonus.
I like it. All right, so I'm going to say at least 9 cars.
I'm going to say 12.
And I'm going to say Bubba starts it.
I'm going to say Recky Spinhouse.
Five
Chris
points
says
awarded
12.
if either
Craig
one of
says
you
9.
That's too easy. Yeah. What do you got?
I'm going to be that guy. Sorry, Chris. 13.
Oh, that's the Price is Right strategy, baby. Miss Lee, you going with $1?
Lee also goes 12.
Oh, she got 12 as well?
Yeah,
She
so
was going
she
to
has
go
to pick
12,
another
so
one.
unless she changes her number.
Okay, well, we can award bonus points to 2 different winners.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it. I just think it adds a nice little twist to the weekend.
Come on, 12.
So we'll
12 cars caught up in the wreck. All right. Well,
and I said
somehow
9.
burned about another 4 or 5 minutes of this endless show here tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. I'm looking forward to stepping out of the studio and hauling ass to Talladega Super Speedway where I was raised up. We're going to throw our whiskeys in the glass and turn up to slow down and slow down to turn up. So y'all join us. I really, it would be amazing to get this group together for a Talladega race. I swear to God, it would be the coolest event ever if somehow we could get everybody in one spot. I would like it to be Talladega. Now, Daytona probably sounds more fun, but definitely Talladega. So thank you for listening to the show, guys. Remember, you can find us on the podcast pages. This is our next pod drop. That's what I want to call it around here, the next pod drop. Race Chat Live can be found on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Man, we are on YouTube. You can Google it, and it'll take you to whatever's the most popular network on Google. You'll be able to find us there. But sure enough, just check out Race Chat Live and search it through the 110 Nation Sports or just Race Chat Live on Google.
All right. Taz, get us back out of there.
Alrighty, folks, this has been Race Chat Live here on Blog Talk Radio. You can catch us on all our forms of podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, RSS Feed, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Savin, Podcast Addict, Deezer, Podchaser, YouTube, and, of course, here on Blog Talk Radio. We'll see you the same bat time, same bat place next Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. This has been the DJ Music Man, Craig Moore, the caution flag of Racing Radio, Chris Creighton. I'm the Tasmanian Double Flaggers, Taz Taylor, saying so long, good night. We'll see you next week.
All right, good night, everybody.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills. Someday the mountain might get them, but the law never will. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Just a good old boy, wouldn't change if they could. Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.